Hi, today we're going to do a quick lesson on the Pythagorean theorem. So you've probably heard of the Pythagorean theorem before. The Pythagorean theorem says in a right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the legs. So we have a right triangle, and you've probably seen it written before as a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's the sum, the plus, of the squares, a squared and b squared, is equal to the hypotenuse squared. I would say the biggest mistake that students make with this is the hypotenuse has to be the one that's by itself. So to do a couple of examples, let's say I have 2 and 5, and I want to find x. To solve this problem, I can apply this Pythagorean theorem since it's a right triangle and say 2 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. That's 4 plus 25 is x squared. So add those up. 29 is x squared. And then to get that x alone, we're going to take a square root on both sides. And so we find that x is the square root of 29. Now in a new example, let's say we know that this is 18 and we know that this side is, let's see, we already did 5 last time. Let's say it's 4. And we want to know what this side is, and I'll call it y to make it different than the last problem. Now in this problem, we have to be careful because the y, the piece we want to know, is not the hypotenuse. So when we set up for a Pythagorean theorem, we need to make sure that the hypotenuse is always on the side by itself, and the legs are working on the side together. So this time, 4 squared is 16. Well, maybe I should have picked some smaller numbers. 18 times 18. I'll do some scratch paper here since I don't have a calculator with me. So that's 8 plus, it's 144. Add those up, and I get what, 4 to 324. Subtract a 16 from that on both sides. And so I get 308. And take a square root of that. And so I get y is the square root of 308. And that's all I want to show you about the Pythagorean theorem today. Tomorrow in class, we're going to explore this idea some more.